Welcome to the Geeks and Creeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. We love having you guys back and we can't wait to get into this episode. Alright.
So we'll start off with the NBA Game of the Week.
Here comes a new challenger!
I'm gonna jump right on into it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This game was a snooze fest for me.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was just me.
The first, 10 minutes was exciting, and then the rest of the game was just boring as hell.
Well, I mean, it also didn't help that the Nuggets were missing their two best players, and B, Luka came out and just was on fire from the start and couldn't miss. And that first 10 minutes is just what put the entire game away. Mm-hmm.
It's true. That first score that they had, Luka's, running up, and he does a pass, and then there's just a guy, wide open right in front of the net, and it was just we saw it happen, it was why did they let him do that? It just looked like the other team just let him do it. They're go ahead, you can get a score, you can go up on us. It was crazy.
Yeah. And then just as soon as Luka scored that first layup with the and one, there was just no stopping him the rest of the game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was his best game of the season by far. Easily his best game of the season. And it's just, like I said, he just couldn't miss. It really was. Because they said his first miss didn't come till over halfway through the first period.
Yeah. They went up by 18 points in the first period. It was nuts.
And I'll at least give Denver credit. They didn't stop. They fought the whole way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the third quarter, halftime they kind of made it. They tried to make it a close game, but it just never really quite got there.
Yeah.
I thought this game was going to be better when I saw it coming up, because at the time Denver was the 3 seed and LA was the 4 seed. They were only a game away from each other, and then Denver's only a half game out of the 2nd seed. So the West was really super close at this point, minus the 1st seed. Because the Thunder have a 12-game lead on the 2nd seed. So it's the Thunder, then it's the rest of the conference.
Right.
Because no one's catching them at this point.
I actually thought this game was going to be a lot closer when they were explaining all that at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And it's the records were so close. They were, 2-1 against each other. Mm-hmm. And then, it was like watching a team completely unprepared play an NBA team. They just didn't hold up to them. It was nuts.
It's one of those things where this game really showed how important Nikola Jokic is to this Nuggets team. Without him, this team doesn't function.
Yeah.
And and the problem is him and Murray are both kind of day to day because they've got calf muscle injuries. So it's they went through warm-ups and went through all the pregame warm-ups, but it just didn't feel right, and the muscles were still tight and sore, so they didn't play, which I'm not sure how to feel about it. It's one of those things where I kind of miss the mentality of the 90s and 2000s where dudes, they were tight. So what? Massage it out, let's play.
Right.
We're gonna go.
If you can warm up, you can play the game.
Right. And it's one of those things where, but at the same time, those guys didn't play as long. And that's why, because they kept playing through injuries like that.
Right.
But now that guys don't play through the injuries as much, they play for a lot longer. And we're seeing guys play into their, mid to late 30s at still playing at high levels. And so it's it's that trade-off. We have guys playing at high levels and still being some of the best in the league at 35, 36, 37, in LeBron's case, 40, 41, and as opposed to, their peaks coming at 33, 34, and then now they're done by 35, 36. So it's like, what's that trade-off going to be? It's kind of, it's hard sometimes because there really are times where I'm like, dude, it's muscle soreness. Just fucking play.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of LeBron, my favorite part of the game was finding out that LeBron wasn't playing. And I just sat there and I was like,
that's terrible.
But we did get an appearance from his son.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bronny.
In garbage time.
Yeah.
The entire arena was like erupting in cheers when his kid was coming on. I'm like, dude, it's 3 minutes in the fourth. Like, you could have at least put him in sooner because the backups have been in for the entire fourth quarter. You could have at least given him some more time. That's kind of a slap in the face almost.
I mean, the crowd popped literally every time he touched the ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the ball was in his hands, they popped.
Like all 3 times.
Yeah, but it was.
And
I thought that was funny because it was like, oh, we're not getting LeBron James, but the team's so good without him that we'll get his son.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of get the crowd cheering for Bronny because it's kind of like the family of your favorite player is you kind of adopt them as well. I don't know, it's kind of like how Colts fans sometimes root for Eli Manning, but it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're just trying to justify it.
Yeah, you would say that, Giants fan.
Yeah,
No. Don't lump
But
me into
I will say this though, as far as Bronny's concerned, he has spent a good amount of the season down in the G League and learning and playing and stuff down there, and he has been playing a lot better as the season has been going on. So he has been at least earning time and playing down there well to come up and get a little bit of reps here and there on the actual NBA roster. So I will at least say that. But I mean, it is just kind of funny that the crowd just went nuts when he entered the game, and they were chanting for him for a good 3 to 4 minutes before he even got in the game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think JJ Redick just did it so they'd shut up after a while.
It's like going to a wrestling show and everybody knows who the surprise entrant to the Royal Rumble is, and they start cheering it before he shows up.
So, Adam, who do you have us watching next week?
So next week we have the Knicks versus Clippers, and they actually play tonight. So it's tonight's game. And both these teams are also in the playoff hunt. So Knicks in the East, Clippers from the West. So Clippers are actually fighting, I think, for a play-in spot or like bottom end of the playoffs in the West, and Knicks are fighting for like the 4 or 5, maybe 4, 5, 6 playoff spot in the East, something like that.
Okay.
So
sounds like fun.
So this will also have playoff implications. Hopefully, this will be a better game than the last one will be. So.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of Knicks games this year, so I'm like, you know what? I haven't watched a lot of Knicks games. We'll pull a Knicks game for this week.
There we go.
In everyone's favorite arena, Madison Square Garden.
Oh, right.
But that brings us into Geeks and Greeks news. Top of the list, we have March Madness is in full swing with my bracket being completely destroyed.
Well, why don't you cry about it?
Yeah, I was Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I had Clemson going to the Elite Eight. They got knocked down the first round. Oklahoma going to the Elite Eight. They got knocked out in the first round. I had St. John's going to the Final Four. They got knocked out in the second. I have just blotches of red all over the place.
Yeah. So the biggest, my two of my Final Four teams got knocked out as well. I had UConn and North Carolina both in the Final Four. North Carolina didn't make it out of the first round either, and then UConn didn't make it past Florida in the second round, unfortunately, by a basket. They lost 77-75. I'm like, oh, come on. It's Florida. They can't handle the pressure. But, like, so far, it's funny. I've gotten, in the Elite Eight, at least, I've gotten one team from every Elite Eight so far. A couple of them I've gotten both. Like, my Elite Eight, it's just one. I've gotten one team for the Elite Eight on in every side. Unfortunately, I've gotten both. Just one. But then again, I really don't follow college basketball either, so this is all purely picking off the seat of my pants. The day the tournament started, so.
Yeah. So I completely did this blind. I know zero about college basketball. You're lucky I even know 10 of these colleges' names, to be honest with you. And I don't know what a bad bracket or a good bracket would look like. But, like, I don't know. In my final 8 or Elite 8 or whatever, got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Like, I feel like I got. There's more than 8 here.
That'd be the Sweet 16.
Okay. I don't know. I don't understand what I'm looking at. You want me to share my screen? You guys can tell me what I'm looking at. Here you go. I got my bracket up. Let's see. Chrome tab there. Here you go. So this is my bracket. And like, I mean, obviously this isn't that good.
Okay, so you have Auburn and Texas A&M, but Michigan beat them, so it'd be Auburn and Michigan.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I mean, my two guys who I got fighting for the championship are still in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Auburn.
So we're in the Sweet. I think we're in the Sweet 16 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Sweet 16 is next. We just finished the second round, so Sweet 16 is the stage where we're at right now.
So that'd be here.
Yep. So we're Auburn. So like Auburn and Auburn, Texas A&M, Iowa State, Michigan State. Like that's kind of where we're looking at right now. So yeah, for Sweet 16, mine's not doing terrible. Like, because I had Auburn and Michigan, so I got that one right. I had Michigan State, but I didn't get Ole Miss. I had Maryland, and I had Texas Tech, but I didn't have St. John's. I mean, I didn't have Arkansas. I had St. John's beating Arkansas, unfortunately.
Yeah,
me too.
So did I. Look at that.
So I had Tennessee, but I didn't get Kentucky because I had Illinois going. I had Houston and Purdue both on mine, though, so I got that. I got Alabama, but I had BYU.
Yeah.
And then I had Duke and Arizona. So, yeah, I kind of got some. But I had a couple that were both right, but not terrible.
What?
Yeah.
I love you.
So tomorrow and Friday we have the 8 games playing for the Elite 8 spots. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we have the Elite 8 playing for the Final 4. By Sunday evening, we'll know who the Final 4 are. And then they start
My
playing.
national championship is screwed. Because I had North Carolina in the national championship. They didn't make it out of the first round. Damn.
I have hope.
I mean, I have Duke winning it, so at least my winner is still in the tournament.
There you go.
I have 3 of my Final 4 still alive. I've got Duke, Auburn, and Tennessee.
Yeah. See, I have Michigan beating Auburn.
I have Auburn beating Michigan, but
I don't trust a Bruce Pearl team. Once they get expectations, they usually crumble. Happened at Tennessee, happens at Auburn.
All right.
You don't know how hard it was to pick Michigan to beat Auburn, because I can't pick Michigan to win most of the time, so it's really hard to do that. And it's conscience.
Is it the Ohio State hatred?
It is. It's so hard. But then again, when it comes to basketball, it's not quite as hard because Ohio State basketball is atrocious and not really worth a damn, so it doesn't really mean as much.
I feel the same way about IU football.
Yeah. This was their 1 year of glory, and then next year they'll go back to being the trash team of Big Ten.
Probably.
That's why there's no such thing as IU football fans, but IU basketball fans are a thing. And nobody cares about Notre Dame basketball. So
starting tomorrow, if you're not interested in basketball, it's baseball's opening day. Starting at 3 p.m., you'll have 14 games throughout the day, and then, in case you missed all 14 of those, you'll have one more tomorrow between the Rockies and the Tampa Bay Rays. It's gonna be something.
I mean, opening day is always fun. Like,
Yeah.
opening day of Major League Baseball, as much as I'm not really a huge baseball fan, opening day is always a lot of fun.
I love the concept of baseball and like going to a baseball park and watching a game and like watching the home team win and hit a home run. Like, I love those things. I can't watch it on TV. Like, there's so many damn games. I don't understand how anyone does it.
Like, this is one of the things where I wish I lived in like a bigger city, like a major city that had like a professional sports team like that. Like, we have a baseball team in Fort Wayne, but it's a high A team. It's fun to go to. And as far as minor league teams go, like, the team itself isn't terrible, and the stadium is awesome for a minor league stadium. We have one of the best in the country. Like, it's continually one of the top 5 for all of minor league baseball, including AAA stadiums. It's one of the top 5 in the country. And, like, it's fun to go to, but, like, I've never been to a major league game in good weather. So it's like, I'd love to go to a Major League Baseball game with good weather. Like, I'd love to go in, like, May, June, July, like, when it's, like, you know, middle of summer, like, it's when baseball is supposed to be played, not, like, beginning of April when it's cold and rainy. But it's like, it's baseball live is a lot of fun, and I do like watching it live. It is kind of hard to watch it on TV, but like with the new rules they've implemented, with especially with the pitch clock, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you don't have all the crap where dudes are just wasting time for no reason, just trying to quote unquote get in each other's heads.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
So, but yeah.
I did have one of those random thoughts today when I was watching this week's basketball game. Baseball is a sport without turnovers. And, like, of the big, you know, sports in the United States, it's the only one without turnovers. And, like, just trying to come up with, like, what a baseball equivalent of a turnover is, and I don't even think I can come up with one.
I think error would be the closest one.
I mean, I think that's why they track it, but even then, like, it's not a turnover.
I mean, it's not, but like I said, that would probably be what the closest thing would be to it.
The only thing I was thinking is maybe like a stolen base. You know, because you can steal home, you can score with it. It's kind of like a pick six.
Yeah, I mean, error can be the same thing, though. If you commit an error, you can get scored on because of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say the closest thing to a turnover would be a triple play.
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, triple play.
Yeah, okay. Triple or double play, yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
But moving on the news, this week, Bill Chisolm and Associates have paid $6.1 billion for the Boston Celtics, setting the North American sports franchise record for the most money paid for a sports team, at least until Jerry Jones gets off his butt and sells the Cowboys.
I don't think he will. I'm pretty sure he'll die, and then Stephen Jones will take it over.
And then he'll sell it.
Right. He'll run it to the ground first, and then sell it for parts.
Maybe. I don't know if you can run that franchise into the ground. Jerry's been trying to do it for the last 10, 15 years.
That's fair.
But moving on to proposed NFL rule changes. Right now there are 6 big rule changes on the docket that are going to be voted on by the powers that be, and I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on them. The first one was actually proposed by the NFL committee themselves. They're adding a new addendum that would place the ball to the 35-yard line on a touchback during a kickoff instead of the 30-yard line. I
don't like this. Honestly, like, I hate that it goes to the 30. I mean, just get rid of the kickoff at this point. You're already trying to do it as it is. I mean, by all the rule changes to it, you're already trying to arbitrarily get rid of the kickoff as it is. Just go ahead and just give him the ball in the 25 and just get rid of it altogether. Like, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I disagree with that. I think that obviously they're trying to entice the kicking team to kick the ball into the drop zone more frequently to entice a run back. And it's like, all right, maybe it should be a punt or something. Like, I don't think we should get rid of it entirely. It has its place in football for a reason.
Right.
And I
don't want them to get rid of it either, but I don't think they should go to the 35-yard line either. Just do a safety punt then at that case.
Yeah, it's too painful. That's the problem. Like, if you accidentally kick it 3 yards too far, then all of a sudden it comes out to the 35-yard line. Like, it's too much of a punishment for messing up.
Yeah.
I think they should go the other way. If they want more run backs, they bring it back to the 20 or the 25 and put it in the drop zone, and then that'll entice people to run it back more. I mean, I don't know.
I just think they should just limit the touchback. You have to run it out.
Yeah. I mean, you can't kick it into the end zone, or it's a re-kick.
That's an interesting thought.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I think you can field it in the end zone. You just can't. You can't. Well, shouldn't say you can't kneel, because if you catch it like at the back end, at the back
Right.
out of bounds line, you're screwed.
Right, and that's why I'm saying it should be a re-kick. Like, you can't kick to the back of the end zone. You can kick to the 1 yard line. Anything further is a re-kick.
Yeah, like, I mean, because if you're gonna give him if you're gonna give him the 35-yard line at the touchback, you may as well just kick it out of bounds at that point, because
Right.
you're at the 40 then.
Right.
Like, it's an extra 5 yards. What's the difference?
Right.
So it's like, I might as well just pooch kick it out of bounds instead of even doing the kickoff. Why waste my guy's energy having to run down the field if it's just going to be a touchback?
Right.
So, and I mean, if that's the case, like, I don't know, like, I'd almost want to, like, just move the kick zone up 5 yards, so I have more of a cushion to get it into the kick zone.
I mean, how about this, right? Instead of all of this, we make it first down. And so you kick the ball, they run it back, and now it's second down. And they get credit for the yards. If the run back, wherever the run back is where it stops, and then it's second down and they have to go from there. So if they get like a 10-yard run back, I guess you could count that as a first down. But like, if they can't get more than like a 10-yard run back, then it's second down and however many yards to go.
That'd be interesting.
And that way it really entices the kicking team to give them the ball, because if you just give it in, kick it out of the end zone, it's first down. But if they catch the ball, it's second down.
I mean, I guess it depends on what your average kickbacks are now. Your return yardage would be.
Yeah. Because, I suppose you say, like, unless they get to the 35, it's second down until they get to 35, and then they get first down or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but yeah, I think the 35 it's just going too far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, like I said, go the other way. I mean, put them back to the 25.
Yeah.
Because it's just, like
It's
I said,
just going to make this. It's going to inflate the scores. That's the problem.
which is what they've always been trying to do since like 2010.
Why? Football is fine the way it is. Like, just protect the players. Change the rules to protect the players better, and other than that, leave the game alone.
No, we need one more change of the rules. We need to be able to challenge penalties.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's fair. We need to be able to challenge penalties.
We need to be able to challenge penalties
Challenge penalties.
Unfortunately,
For
at
that
all times, not just you can't do it in the last 2 minutes. No, that's exactly when you should be able to
Damn
challenge
game.
penalties.
Exactly.
Or
unfortunately
you can
that
only
one
challenge penalties
hasn't-
in the last 2 minutes of the quarter, crunch time.
Unfortunately, that a rule has not come up in the list, but the next one is the Green Bay Packers have moved to prohibit an offensive player from pushing a teammate who was lined up directly behind the snapper and receives the snap immediately at the snap. In other words, the tush push.
Okay, so here's the thing. Jalen Hurts receives the ball. He then immediately turns around and hands it to Saquon Barkley, and we just tush-push Saquon Barkley. We get around that. Got it.
Actually, what I would
not
do is
immediately.
the way I heard Tom word it is there's someone that's directly behind him, so just line him up off to the left. So the way he's not directly behind him, he's off to the side, and then you just have two guys from both sides push him.
That's it.
Like, well, we're not directly behind him. I'm off to the left, he's off to the right, and then we both push. Done.
Next rule they go to ban: quarterbacks are not allowed to sneak. Yeah. After that, no blitzing. It's a 10 Mississippi count, and then you can rush the quarterback.
Next, we're going to go to flags. We're not even going to tackle.
Yeah, not even bother.
Like, this is just dumb. The Packers are just mad because they can't do it.
Right.
That's all this is. And, like, I've heard, it's funny because I haven't heard any ex-player come out against the tush push except for one, and that was Mark Schlereth, who was an old offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Next on the list is the Philadelphia Eagles have moved to align the postseason and the regular season overtime rules by granting both teams an opportunity to possess the ball regardless of the outcome of the first possession. That if a team scores in the first possession of overtime, there is no more overtime after that. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
And
it's only if it's a touchdown, though.
Yeah, it's only if it's a touchdown. And I'm kind of on board with this. I think this should be equal chance, but
I mean,
that's me.
They changed this rule because they thought games were going too long. And I don't think they were right. They shortened the overtime period to 10 minutes. They made it sudden death if you score a touchdown. Like, both teams should be able to get a chance to play the ball. I wouldn't even be mad if they did a full 15-minute period. Like, just do a fifth quarter in overtime. Like, you'll get people to watch it.
I mean, it's football. Everybody will watch it anyway. Yeah.
Right, exactly. We're gonna watch it.
Honestly, I think it wouldn't be bad. I think what would be kind of cool for an overtime if they would adopt but tweak the college football overtime rules, which college football doesn't have a time period. Basically, what college does is you line up on the 35 and you try to score. And you go score for score. But like with the NFL, 35's the opponent's 35 is a little close for the NFL. That's kind of almost a gimme.
As we were just saying in the kickoff conversation.
Well, no, it's the it's the opponent's 35.
Oh, the other side. Okay, all right.
So you get the opponent's 35-yard line in college, which for the NFL, I think that's kind of a gimme. I'd say midfield for NFL.
If you make no first downs. Put them on the 35-yard line, but you get 4 downs, period. No first downs in overtime. If you score, then the other people get the ball. Last one to score loses.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, in college you get first downs.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I could see that. Like, or if you just did, like I said, 50-yard line, but you get first downs.
Yeah, but...
Because, like, at least if you got the opponent's 35, even with no first downs, you can just get a field goal.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like ties happen enough that this is a big enough of a problem that they need.
Just to Ross's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they really don't. They happen like, what, maybe once every year or two? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it's random. It's not. I don't even think it happens every year.
Right.
It's very rare.
I think they should all just be the same. I really do feel like they were trying to shorten the game, and I think that was the mistake. And they should just go the other way and just make it a 15-minute period.
Yeah. So the last tie that happened was December 4th, 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I think they're trying to shorten the game at the wrong time, because if a game has gone into overtime, that means it's that tight that people are invested. They're going to watch overtime. You don't need to shorten it up. There's not people watching overtime like, God, when's this gonna end? It
depends on the teams that are playing.
Fair enough.
Dude, or the person sitting next to the person who's really invested in it. They're like, I just want to go home and eat dinner. When's Dad going to be done?
Shut up. I'm watching the game.
Right. I mean, it depends on who the teams are that are playing, though, too. Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm stuck watching something like, Titans, Panthers, and it's going to overtime, I'm like, oh, man, come on. Just end the game.
How about this? You have to be better than 500 to make it into overtime. So if you tie at the end of the game and one team's over 500 and the other team's under, they just win.
What if both teams are under 500? Do you both lose?
That's how you get a tie. They disqualify for
Okay,
overtime.
they just get the tie automatically.
Moving on to the next rule proposed by the Detroit Lions to eliminate an automatic first down as a penalty imposed for defensive holding and illegal contacts. I agree. Automatic first downs are stupid. Okay.
Tell us how you really feel, Tom.
It's completely disproportional to the punishment. It's like, oh, he held on to this defensive guy, and it's like automatic first down. I'm like, why? Why?
I think it depends on how much the yardage should be. If it's over 10 yards, it should be an automatic first down. If it's less than 10, it shouldn't be a first down.
I honestly think there should be no such thing as an automatic first down when it comes to a penalty. If the yardage awarded by the penalty would create a first down, then it is a first down. If it wouldn't, then it's not.
Yeah.
Because if it's first and 24, and they get a 15-yard penalty, that should not be
Automatic.
another first round.
Yeah.
They shouldn't get a new set of downs there.
Right. Well, it's like because it's like the offsides. Like I mean, when they try to bait him when it's like 3rd and 3, and they're trying to bait the defense to jump for the 5-yard penalty for the first down. The same kind of thing.
And I mean, how many times are you like on a knife's edge watching a game and they're doing that, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? And then they finally call timeout. It's like, oh, I got to take my blood pressure medicine. What the hell was that? I hate when that happens.
Does anyone else see spots right now?
Why were they lined up on 4th and 23, just hard counting?
Yeah, that sounds like something Dallas would actually do.
It would.
But for the second consecutive rule proposed by the Detroit Lions is to amend the current playoff seeding format to allow wild card teams to be seeded higher than divisional champions if the card team had a better regular season record. I kind of agree with this.
I don't. Because that's the perk of winning your division. You win your division, you get the better seeding. Doesn't matter if you're because the thing is even though your wild card the wild card may have the better record, it doesn't happen enough to make it worth a rule change. Now, are we having it happen more often recently? We have, but
it happened this
That's
season.
discrepancy in the divisions. And that's the problem. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think that's the perk of winning your division. You win your division, you get the home field.
See, the funny thing is, it happened in 2024. It happened this season because
I know.
What is it? It was the Rams and the Buccaneers. They were division champions, but both of their records were worse than all 3 wild card teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
See,
but at the same point, like they won the division. This is also what makes the season matter.
Right. And that's the thing. This comes up every couple of years. Because the Saints tried to do it when Beast Mode knocked them out of the playoffs because they had to go up into Seattle.
Because Seattle had a losing record and won their division.
Right. And then went on to the Super Bowl. I just don't get it. It's like, this is the point of divisions. If you don't want to do this, then eliminate the divisions and just do conference seeding. And the top 7 teams make it. What the hell is the point of a division if this is how you're going to play it?
Well, they're not saying that the division champions don't get to go to the playoffs. They're saying that they're seeded. The order of seeding is...
Right. But what we're saying is then the divisions don't matter.
Right. Then the divisions don't matter. Like, you play these people 2 times a year for the right to have a home game.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like, that's the point of it.
Yeah. Because, that's basically what the NBA did. Because the NBA used to be the top... There's 3 divisions in each conference in the NBA. Whoever won the division got the top 3 seeds, and then the rest funneled down for the rest of the I guess wild cards, as you would call them, would funnel down the rest. Who the best records after that would funnel down. Then they got rid of it, and just by basically they seeded it by conference, and the top 8 seeds were the top 8 seeds, regardless of division.
Right.
So that's basically what you do here. And after they did that, after a while, the regular season doesn't mean hardly anything anymore.
Right.
See, I'm on board.
So-
You had me at the NBA tried this, and then from there I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, so this is a bad idea. The Lions are just... I don't know why the Lions are proposing this, to be honest with you, because they haven't been good enough. They haven't been good enough long enough to make proposals like this.
Yeah.
Well, buckle up, because they've made a third, and the Detroit Lions' third proposal is to exclude the 90-player limit, a player placed on injured reserve before the day of the roster reduction to 53 players. In other words, if someone's on IR, they shouldn't count towards the 90-man limit before the 53-player limit deadline.
I'd give you that. Honestly, I don't think that's a huge deal. I don't think that's a issue. I think the problem would then become once they become active off IR, if they can, then you must cut down to 53.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was the point of the IR list, to be honest with you. When I read this was like a proposed rule change, I'm like, it's not already that way? Like, that was kind of shocking to me.
yeah, me too. I thought that was the whole point of that, and the pup list too.
Yeah, and the pup list. Yep. Like, what are the point of these lists if it's not to reserve a player but be able to put someone on his roster spot?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess we had totally not known what that was for then.
yeah, I do love how, like, Detroit is definitely all of a sudden good, and they're like showing up at like the new kid in the yard where he's like, all right, I brought my own ball and we're gonna play with my rules, and like everybody's gonna love it. Okay, this is how we used to play it in my old neighborhood.
And meanwhile, teams like the Steelers and like the Packers and everybody else are like, whoa, slow your roll, kid.
Yeah,
You're the new guy here.
right.
You've been here 2 days.
You
Your
just got here.
sneakers aren't even scuffed yet, kid.
Yeah, like I mean, at least 2 of the 3 are like not bad, but like the whole seeding and divisions, I'm like, you haven't been good enough long enough to start needing to worry about seeding and division problems.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, aren't you the one that got the bye this year? Why don't you just step
I wouldn't worry about that.
That did nothing with it. Oh, right.
I mean, to be fair, they were pulling fans out of the stands to play cornerback and safety.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, heck. Okay, so the next next section of the news segment is the NFL musical chairs, where we talk about the Giants signing Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. That leaves our little game of NFL musical chairs with Aaron Rodgers just walking around that Steelers chair, wondering if it's going to fold up before he gets a chance to sit down. Honestly,
pick it up and hit Tomlin over the head with it, WWE style, baby.
I think, honestly, at this point, the Steelers would be better off if they just called Roethlisberger and brought him out of retirement.
Yeah, that's probably right.
I mean, I'd trust him more than I would Aaron Rodgers. At least he would probably show up.
And I'm sure Big Ben would cost less than $45 million too.
And the thing is like, you'd say, he's not in football shape, but Ben was never in football shape. He just played anyway.
You know what the funny part is I actually saw a video where like Ben had it was a video from Ben Roethlisberger where he had a Steelers helmet on, and he's like, hey coach, I've got at least a game left in me. I think I can do it. What do you say? One more trip around? I'm like, you know what? Could be worse. May not be a bad idea. So here's a list of quarterbacks that are still available on the free agency market that the Steelers can go pick up. So we've got Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance, Drew Lock, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, Case Keenum. Let's see, Josh Johnson,
of greatest quarterbacks of all time, right there.
Right?
You know, Flacco wasn't too bad on the Colts, so maybe
he was. He got outbid for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, on the Colts, man, he was not good on the Colts. He wasn't bad when he was on the Ravens, like 100 years ago.
But I was trying to go for a little more recently, like
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the problem. Like, I mean, you've also got like Teddy Bridgewater could probably be brought back out of retirement because Detroit did.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Ben Roethlisberger on that one then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's literally nothing out there. Like, it's Rodgers. I mean, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even go get I wouldn't even go get Rodgers. I just let him go.
Yeah, let him retire.
Yeah. Because they're reporting that last year, like his contract last year was $37.5 million, and he's asking for 45 now.
Yeah.
No, not a chance.
What is it, hazard pay because you're 100 years old and your bones are brittle? Like,
wouldn't the ultimate insult be they pick up Carson Wentz and say goodbye to Aaron Rodgers?
That would be pretty funny. Don't win a single game because they have Carson Wentz on their team. Tomlin's finally under 500.
I mean, if the quarterback draft is supposed to be as good next year as they're saying it is, that may not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what it is? With Mike Tomlin, Carson Wentz may be a 500 quarterback.
Good God,
Brace
that would
the tank,
be right.
baby. Let's go.
He's never had a losing season.
No.
With Carson Wentz, he may somehow pull it off
Can
again.
we finally do it?
Yeah,
I mean,
for Tomlin, bottom of the barrel is 8-8.
Yeah.
Oh, can't do 8-8 anymore, man. 17 games.
Yep.
That's the biggest problem that Pittsburgh has, man, is that like they're never bad enough to go get a good quarterback in the draft.
Yep, and they're never good enough to do anything.
And it's like they're probably not going to trade up to go get one. I mean, there's honestly, I really don't think there's one worth trading up to get this year. But it's like, and it's funny because their fan base is so spoiled that they think that Tomlin should be let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's legitimately like I've seen so many like things this offseason that people are calling that Tomlin, they need a new coach in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, you guys are so far in the woods and so spoiled, you don't understand how good you have it.
Right.
Okay, now Steeler.
Like, not even
fans.
Patriots fans were that delusional with Belichick and Brady.
Okay, Steeler fans, recognize how rare a consistent 500 coach is. Appreciate what you have. Never let him go. Take a word from a Colts fan. Don't let him go.
Dude, take it from any NFL fan. I don't think there's ever been an NFL head coach that's never had not had a losing season.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting stat. I don't know.
Like,
That's
I don't know,
question.
but I mean, I can't think of it. I mean, even when you think of like some of the greatest coaches of all time, they've all had losing seasons.
Right.
Eventually,
Right.
Yeah, because
like
there's always
Tomlin
circumstances.
never had a losing season.
Yep.
Like,
Andy
it's
Reid
unheard
went
of.
4-12 one year in Philly.
Yeah.
Tony Dungy's in the same boat.
I mean, I know I would guarantee that, like, you know, Ditka in Chicago had a losing season. I would bet, I don't know the name of the coach, but I bet the coach in the Dolphins in the 70s when they
Don
went on their
Shula.
perfect run. Sorry, Don Shula. I'm betting at some point he probably had a losing record.
I was actually
Tom
just
Landry
looking
in
him
Dallas
up.
Tom Landry in Dallas had losing seasons. Like, these Hall of Fame coaches had losing seasons. You know, Vince Lombardi had losing seasons in Green Bay.
I don't know, though, because, like, I think that leaving Pittsburgh might be the best thing for Mike Tomlin.
Probably
Definitely wouldn't be the best thing for Pittsburgh. Like,
No, it'd be
you got to go out
terrible.
and try to find another good coach. It takes a while. Take it from
Well-
Philly. We ran Andy Reid out of town probably before we should have, and we ended up with Chip Kelly. Like,
Ugh.
you know, it takes a while to recover from that. And, like, honestly, Tomlin's good. And if he ends up on a team that is a contender already, you know, he could go places, I think.
And the crazy thing is Tomlin wasn't even an outside hire. They promoted. He was already on the staff. They just
Oh, yeah,
promoted
right.
him.
Holy cow.
He was already there, so he stepped in from, like, I think possibly a coordinator spot. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I gotta throw this amazing stat at you. Don Shula coached for 33 years. He had 1 year under 500.
Okay, wow.
It was
So, I mean, I was technically right, but
Yeah.
damn, that's good. That's amazing.
it was 1988. He went 6-10, and
How many championships does he have?
1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, that's NFL championships because he predates the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, count them then.
So 2 Super Bowl champions, an NFL championship from before the Super Bowl. Oh no, that was Super Bowl era. 68 was Super Bowl 3. So
Yeah.
he lost in the Super Bowl then. So
Okay.
he lost in the Super Bowl 4 times and won the Super Bowl twice. Oh, because he was the Dolphins coach and they back-to-backed in 72 and 73.
Right. So,
But
I mean,
anyways.
He's got a couple championships on Tomlin, but, honestly, Tomlin might be shaping up to have a very similar career.
Well, Tomlin has 2. Or no, Tomlin only has 1.
He has just the one, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because Cowher has the other one with Pittsburgh recently.
Right.
Yeah, Cowher.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, but yeah, so back to the whole quarterback issue, though. It's just like, there's no quarterbacks for Pittsburgh to take. Like I said, I wouldn't want Rodgers. I don't think Pittsburgh does.
Yeah.
I really don't. Otherwise, they would have already signed him.
He's so toxic. I wouldn't want him if he was like a third of the money.
Like, could you imagine how miserable of a human he is in his personal life?
I don't even want to. And, here's the thing. As much as we make fun of Carson Wentz, do either one of you guys know how much he's asking for someone to sign him?
Well, he was a backup in Kansas City, so he's got to be asking around, under 10 for sure.
But do you know what he's asking?
No, I don't know.
You know why? Because he didn't advertise it. Why do we know what Aaron Rodgers is asking for? We shouldn't know that.
Yeah, but he told them about it.
Yeah. Why would you do that? You hoping that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is going to hire you for his football team? Why did you do that?
I just assumed he probably told everyone on Pat McAfee's show.
He probably did. He probably did. And it's that's just creating a toxic environment and bringing in a toxic environment. What happens when that running back that's only making $22 million is wait a minute, you paid Aaron Rodgers how much?
Dude, could you imagine how miserable of a human Aaron Rodgers probably is, in his personal life?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's awful. For sure.
I'm not paying $45 million for a 41-year-old quarterback that's already snapped an Achilles.
Right.
Recently, too. Not even he did it when he was 30. Recently.
And has some serious micromanaging issues.
And serious mental issues, too.
But that brings us to the final segment of the podcast, the trivia segment, to a game I call Two Truths and a Lie, NFL Team Edition. I will make 3 statements, and you both have to decide which one of these statements is a lie. You will both answer, and then I will tell you if either of you or both of you get a point for the question. Since this is the NFL Team Edition, the subject of each question is an NFL team. And to start things off, the Dallas Cowboys. We hold the NFL record for the most consecutive winning seasons. Second statement is, in the Super Bowl era, we are the first team to have 3 50-plus point games in a single season. And the third statement, we are the only team to have a season with no fair catches in the Super Bowl era.
Jesus, 2 of those sound like lies to me.
They all sound like lies.
You can't say anything positive about the Cowboys.
No fair catches. That just sounds like the most random statistic. 3 50-point games.
That's a lot.
It is. That almost feels like it'd have to be during the Romo time period, though. With Romo, Dez Bryant, and DeMarco Murray, that time period. But I don't think they did that. I really don't think they did that back in the 90s, because that's a lot for that time period. I don't think anyone was scoring that much, even with that offense.
I mean, maybe with Michael Irving and Emmitt Smith. Still.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I say the 90s, that's kind of the group I'm talking about, because that's really that was the group in the 90s. I don't know, man. That's a lot for the 90s. They didn't play that fast. They didn't air it out. I don't know, man. Emmitt was breaking out some runs, though. You said the record for the most winning seasons in a row?
We hold the NFL record for the most consecutive winning seasons.
That one I could possibly see.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can also see that being Pittsburgh. Or, I'm not Pittsburgh.
San Francisco.
Patriots. I could see.
Oh, yeah, the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. The Patriots probably did do that for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, No, because Brady was hurt. And they didn't have a winning season when Brady got hurt, when Matt Castle came in.
Yeah.
So they would have broken that streak. If Brady hadn't had his ACL his knee get all messed up that first game, they probably would have done it for 20 straight years. No, it wasn't Indy. That was Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because I was watching that game because I had Brady. That was the 1 year I had Brady as my quarterback in fantasy.
That's what you get.
Still remember that.
That's what you get for picking them.
So do you guys have a guess on which one's a lie?
I think the lie is fair catches.
I think the lie is the 50-point games.
Right. The Cowboys do in fact hold the record for the most consecutive winning seasons at 20, set between 1966 and 1985.
That's insane.
They do in fact hold the distinction of being the first team to get 3 50-plus points games in a single season in 1966.
Wow.
They unfortunately are not the only team to have a season with no fair catches in the Super Bowl era, because the San Diego Chargers, the New England Patriots, the Buccaneers, and the Steelers have also achieved this distinction, and they did it before the Cowboys.
Wow. Okay. They did it in the 60s. Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Next
I want to
team.
know what kind of cocaine they were on back then.
I was just saying, we say parity in the league sucks now. Jesus. They must have been the only good team in that season.
The next team is the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right.
In the Super Bowl era, we have drafted more players from Ohio State than any other college. One of our former owners is credited for the creation of the NFL draft. And the final statement is the very first Eagles game in Lincoln Financial Stadium featured Sylvester Stallone in a number 22 Eagles jersey.
A number 22 Eagles jersey. So I got to tell you, literally none of these are ringing a bell. I was at the very last game played at the Vet, but I was not at the very first game played at the Link. Sylvester Stallone in a 22 in 2004.
What would be the symbolism of 22 for Stallone?
I mean, I would assume
Is that
it
a
was
Rocky
a player.
reference?
No, it's not a Rocky reference. I would assume it would be a player. But 22 makes me think of Deuce Staley, and Deuce Staley wasn't on the team in 2004. So
I thought Staley was 23. No.
Not when he played in Philly.
No, I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, that was Troy Vincent, I think, back then. Anyway.
I mean, it makes sense for Stallone to be there. A 22 jersey is throwing me off a little bit, but there was probably somebody on the team with the number 22. I just can't figure out who it was. So I'm going to go ahead and say that was probably true. So
I could also see that one of the old owners of the Eagles being a person who came up with the draft as well.
Yeah.
I think the Ohio State one's a lie.
I think the Ohio State one's a lie as well.
Final answers?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that makes me nervous.
Actually, Deuce Staley was on the Eagles in 2003, and that was the jersey that Stallone was wearing.
Was Deuce Staley?
And the former owner of the Eagles was Burt Bell in 1939, who proposed the creation of the NFL draft to the NFL, and they liked it.
You want to know something so crazy? The football team that my kid played for is in the Burt Bell Football League. I should have known that. I mean, at least I didn't pick that one, but I should have known that.
But as far as the players drafted by the Eagles, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Florida all have 14 players going to Philadelphia Eagles, but Georgia has 15. So that is the lie. Congratulations,
You know what that's called? The Philadelphia defense.
The next team is the Indianapolis Colts.
All right.
They're all 3 lies. We are the only NFL team to win a Super Bowl while based in 2 different cities, having won the Super Bowl 6 in Baltimore in 1971 and Super Bowl 42 while in Indianapolis in 2007. I got those wrong because that's 41 in 2006. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay, 41 in 2006. That's better. Okay, we hold the record for the longest regular season winning streak, and we hold the record for the worst point differential in a minimum of a 16-game season.
Well, I think it's the regular season streak, because pretty sure the Patriots set the regular season winning streak when they went on their run and lost the Giants, because Colts lost their regular season streak when they decided to sit all their starters in the last week of the season. And because they were in Baltimore, they won with Unitas. Then, like the cowards that the Ursays are, they packed up overnight and went to Indy.
80.
And then Peyton's rookie season was bad. It was bad. Really, really bad. So I think the lie is they had the longest winning streak regulars. Oh, unless they count it going from season to season. I'll still go with regular season winning streak.
See, I think the regular season winning streak might be a possibility. The point differential, I kind of feel like that's a given. Like it was the worst point differential in a 16-game streak, right? That's what you said.
We hold the record for the worst point differential in a minimum of a 16-game season.
I mean, I would have thought that would have been the Bengals, but I can see the Colts having that too. And the first one, I'm trying to think, are there any other teams that jump cities and won a Super Bowl in a different city? And I believe Oakland's won at least one Super Bowl. Not Oakland, but the Raiders have won at least one Super Bowl, right?
They haven't won in Vegas, though.
They haven't won in Vegas. But, I mean, they were not always in Oakland, right? They were the LA Raiders for a while, weren't they? Or something.
Possibly, but I don't think that they won in LA, though. I think they've only won while they've been in Oakland.
And what about the Rams?
The Rams, I don't know.
I don't know if they won.
They were in LA, then they went to St. Louis, and they came back to LA. I don't think the Rams ever won when they were in LA the first time. They did win in St. Louis, and they won again in LA, though.
Yeah.
Because they won recently in LA. So they did win in 2 separate cities.
I'm going to go with that's the lie. Winning the only team to win in 2 separate cities.
Alrighty. We hold the record for the worst point differential in a minimum of a 16-game season at negative 274 as the Baltimore Colts in 1981. So, not Indianapolis.
You'd still count. You don't get to pass that off. You're going to try claiming the Super Bowl.
I was going to ask you how many tears you cried that season, but I'm guessing it's not a lot.
Well, in 1981, I was crying a lot of tears because I was an infant.
I mean, that's fair.
We hold the record for the longest regular season winning streak at 23 games, having won 9 straight games at the end of 2008 and the first 14 games in 2009.
Hey.
But we
forgot that I hate that they count those between seasons. That's a bunch of crap.
But we cannot say that we're the only NFL team to win a Super Bowl in 2 cities, as the Los Angeles Rams won in 21 and the St. Louis Rams won in 98.
Yeah.
Good call, Pete.
And for our final team, we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
Who are saying in 2024 we set the record for the most consecutive games without a turnover. Second statement, the only Super Bowls we have won were with Patrick Mahomes as our quarterback. And the third, we hold the Guinness World Record for the loudest stadium.
Like, period, or for the NFL?
Period.
Really? Guinness, I wonder how they measure that, because I feel like there's got to be soccer stadiums that are louder than like any NFL stadium.
See, I was going to say, last I knew, the loudest NFL stadium was Seattle.
Yeah.
So, and that was by like decibel rating, sorry.
But I mean, I do know which one of these is a lie for sure. And that's the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. Because they've definitely won Super Bowl before Patrick Mahomes. I think it was Super Bowl 2 that they won without Patrick Mahomes.
No, they didn't win 2, because 1 and 2 were both won by the Packers.
That's
they were
right,
in
1 and
2, but they won. They went to 2.
They went to 2.
I think Super Bowl 3 was the Raiders, because I think that's when John Madden won his Super Bowl.
3's Broadway Joe and the Jets.
The only highlight in Jets history.
Yeah.
One again.
Okay, I know Oakland won one of those original early ones, because I know Madden got one.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Kansas City won before Patrick Mahomes got there. Like, it was early, like in the 70s or something, like 60s or 70s. Pretty sure Len Dawson was the quarterback. I don't know, because I also feel like the loudest stadium is also a lie, too.
So many lies.
So many lies. It's the Chiefs. They're all lies. Bandwagon hoppers.
I feel like if you were to say just NFL stadiums, I'd be okay with that. Because I think I do remember looking up loudest stadiums this year for some reason, and I do remember seeing Kansas City on top. But I find it difficult to say it's the loudest stadium in the world. Like, it's gotta be there are louder soccer stadiums out there.
Yeah, especially like in Europe and all that.
Right, yeah.
So it really comes down between Super Bowl and loudest stadium.
The other one is that they set the record for the most games without turnover.
Which
I think I actually buy. Yeah, consecutive games without a turnover. I buy that because Mahomes was on a hot streak there for a while of not throwing interceptions.
Yeah. And they don't really run the ball because they don't really have a good running back.
Yeah, and I think I do buy that they had the longest run without a turnover.
Yeah.
I mean, although Brady didn't turn the ball over hardly ever, he used to set big records like that.
Manning was really good about it too.
Yeah. I'm still going to say that one's true. I'm going to go with I was so sure that they won Super Bowl 2, and then it was like, oh, damn it, you're right. Green Bay definitely won the first 2.
You know what? I'm going to go with the loudest stadium is the lie.
All right. Well, I don't want to be like you, so I'll go with the Super Bowl is the lie, and that way we one of us wins.
We'll have a winner and a loser.
We're both wrong.
Well, you're not both wrong, because in 2024, the Chiefs set the most consecutive games without a turnover at 8. And they also hold the world record for the loudest stadium at 142.2 decibels in a 2014 Patriots game.
Wow.
And Pete, you are right. You were just off by a few years because they won Super Bowl 4 in 1969.
Okay.
All right.
So with a score of Adam 2 and Pete 3, we have our winner.
Look at that. Look at that.
And I did double check. It is a straight up all stadiums. Arrowhead holds the record.
That's crazy.
I even wore my championship shirt right here. World champion at trivia.
Someone sent me a video of this family who went to the zoo, and their little toddlers in the stroller, and they go by the Eagles exhibit, and he points at it and goes, "Go birds!" And at the bottom it's like teaching them young, and I was like, yeah, Pete's gonna love that.
Hell yeah.
That's great. I love it. That's. Oh man. All right. I think that's about it for this episode. You guys got any final thoughts?
No, I do want to say that it's bullshit that John Cena has been to every Raw since I went to Raw and he didn't show up to mine. But other than that, no, I'm good.
I did want to point out, I think Adam beat me to it, that the 2020 Georgia Bulldogs defense was a very formidable force for the Georgia College and seems to be being reassembled in Philadelphia, as Philadelphia now possesses 7 of the 2020 Georgia Bulldogs defense line. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. I'm actually really curious to see how it works out.
I mean, they won a championship with it, so it worked out pretty well for them.
Go with consistency.
They went 8-2 that year and only lost to the 2 best colleges in the country. Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
It was like Alabama and someone else beat them, but yeah.
2020 is probably still Alabama because I think Nick Saban was still coaching at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. And you know what? Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. It's going to be a, jam-packed weekend full of baseball, full of college basketball, full of NBA basketball. We got a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports and a lot of stuff going on. And that's going to be it for us. That's going to be it for us on this episode, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe. Don't forget to comment so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Also, don't forget to find us on Facebook at Geeks and Greeks. And you can also reach us at email at geeksandgreeks365@gmail.com. Until next time, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. See ya.
Later.
Peace.